tasty food for me. Only healthy, tasty food for me. Fruits and veggies are good, you see. They build my bones, build my muscles too, and keep me looking as good as new. Eat either cooked or as salads cool. Only healthy, tasty food, only for me. Yay! Healthy, tasty food is good for you and me. Hooray!
Peter and Handy were twin brothers. Though they looked the same, but their hearts and minds were completely opposite. Peter lived to enjoy life. He never cared for people around him. All he was concerned about was his happiness. On the other hand, Handy liked helping people. He was good at heart. He liked taking care of his grandparents, doing chores for his mom and dad, and even helping Handy complete his homework. His friends and teachers too appreciated him, as he was always ready to lend a hand. It was summer vacation. Peter and Handy decided to go trekking with their friends. The first day of trek was good, and the brothers enjoyed a lot. Unfortunately, the brothers lost their way during the second day of the trek. Peter started walking deep into the forest while Handy was following him. After a while, the brothers lost track of each other as well. On the way, Peter met an old man who begged him for food. Peter simply refused to give his share to him. Next, he met a little girl who had hurt her leg. She asked him to help her get back to her village nearby. Again, Peter simply refused to offer any kind of help and carried on his way. Now, though Handy couldn't see Peter, but he was actually just a few yards behind him. When he met the old man, he offered him all the food he had and went his way. Soon, he came across the little girl as well. He helped her stand up, offered her some water, and even helped her get back to her village. It was evening by the time. Handy decided to start again. The little girl's parents advised him to spend the night with them. "We will go with you to help you find your brother and friends," they assured him. Handy agreed. On the other hand, the darkness and the voices in the jungle started scaring Peter. He wished someone was there to help him. But there was no one in sight except dark reflections in the jungle. He was feeling cold and lonely. Suddenly, Peter came across the same old man again. He ran to him and begged him for help. "Help me, Baba! I am lost! Have you seen my brother? He looks just like me." The old man looked at Peter and said, "Surely I have seen that gem of a child. But why should I help you? You refused to help me when I was in need." Now go away from here." Disheartened, Peter left the place. Soon he saw lights down a hill. It looked like a village. Peter started running towards it and fell down. He hurt his leg badly but still managed to get to the village. At the entrance of the village, he met the same girl he had refused to help. He asked her to help him find shelter for the night. But the girl simply said, "Spend the night under a tree. You deserve it." Peter sat down under a tree and started crying. He had realized the importance of helping people. He spent the night in pain. At dawn, he heard a voice calling his name. It was Handy and the little village girl. Peter rushed to him and said, "Thank God, I have found you. Now I realize how important it is to help others." Peter and Handy looked and behaved the same since that day. Ian was a lovely boy. He liked making friends. However, often he would ignore his desires to make others happy. Ian was always torn between things he wanted to do and things people around him expected to do. For example, once Ian went shopping with his mother. He wanted to buy shorts, but his mother liked him in trousers better. So, Ian went for the trousers. On another occasion, Ian went camping with his cousin. His cousin wanted to play cricket, but Ian wanted to click pictures. To please him, he had to put aside his camera and spend the day playing cricket with him. Doing what others wanted him to do had become Ian's habit. Gradually, he started losing interest in everything. One day, his grandpa brought Ian a multicolored sweater that his grandma had woven especially for him. It had several colors and Ian really liked it. After dinner, while everyone was together in the living room, Grandpa showed the sweater to everyone and asked everyone to point out a flaw in it. Everyone had a different opinion about it. Mom said, "I didn't like the red color in it." Dad said, "It would have been better if brown wasn't in it." Cousin Sarha remarked, "Oh, I hate the triangles in it." Finally, Ian's brother said, "The yellow pattern looks awful." "Great," said Grandpa. "So now we can improve the sweater according to everyone's choice." Grandpa asked Ian to bring a scissors and everyone sat down to watch attentively what he was about to do. Grandpa cut a small knot in the sweater and started his job. "Mom doesn't like the red color," said Grandpa, and pulled out all the red strings in the sweater. Next, he pulled out all the brown strings in the sweater, as Dad didn't like the color brown. Mom tried to stop Grandpa, but he insisted to let him do what he was doing. Then, he took the scissors and cut down all the triangles in the sweater. as Sarah didn't like them. Finally, he cut the yellow pattern in the sweater to please Ayan's brother. All that was left was torn, loose bundle of threads that made no sense. Grandpa took this bundle and gave it to Ayan. "There you are, my son," he said with a smile. "How do you like it now?" Everyone was amazed to see this. Ayan looked at Grandpa and said, "But this is not a sweater anymore. It is useless." "Yes, my boy," replied Grandpa. "But this is what you are. All the colors and patterns that were there kept the sweater intact. This is how your special self is. Whenever you repeatedly sacrifice your wishes and desires for others to make them happy, you pull out a special thread or cut a special pattern. If you keep ignoring yourself, you will be like this bundle of unrelated threads that make no sense." "But people expect things from me," said Ayan. "There will always be people who will expect a lot of things from you," said Grandpa. "But it is up to you to set priorities for your needs. If you won't pay attention to your needs, nobody will." Ayan understood the lesson behind Grandpa's sweater. He gathered what was left on the sweater and placed it in his cupboard. He promised to himself that from that day on, he won't let anyone decide for himself. That was the only way to take care of his special self.